Welcome to another episode of From Startup to Wunderbrand with Nicholas Kuhne. Today we have Jeremy Haselwood, and I was thinking about that name. That is a great surname, Haselwood. I mean, there's nothing negative about a Haselwood, so I love that.
Wow.
Jeremy
Thank
is
you. I like how this is going already. Let's go.
Jeremy is a two-time best-selling author and entrepreneur. A two-time entrepreneur or two-time best-selling author? We'll get into that.
Yeah. It might even be 3-4x entrepreneur, but yeah. But one is working.
Okay, good. This is why commas are important. And you've carved yourself a niche as a digital marketing consultant and inspiring keynote speaker. We're going to be chatting about your latest book, which is called Finding Your Edge, How to Unlock Your Talent and Purpose, which debuted at number 2 on the Life Transformation book chart. So that's something worth celebrating as well. Yeah. So, Jeremy, welcome.
Cool. Thanks, Nicholas. Glad to be here.
Yeah, very, very happy to have you. So I've obviously had a little bit of a deep dive into your background. You're a digital marketing specialist, and I see you do digital marketing, social media, advertising, marketing strategies, SEO, the usual suspects. But you've got a specialization, I think, which is focusing on non-profit or NGOs and companies that sort of make an outsized difference versus selling high net worth individual banking accounts. So maybe let's talk a little bit about your background and how you found this particular niche.
Sure. Yeah, it's interesting how like through life, like your experiences you can start something and you think it's behind you, but then all of a sudden your whole life comes together at once and it's like this body of work that you're living. And that's kind of where I am in my career right now. I can't talk about where I am today without talking about my past. Like I live in Atlanta, Georgia now. I'm from Oklahoma. And my dream when I was a teenager, like many people, was to like be in a band and see the world and have the world sing your songs. And it was a dream I had, and I went after it. I moved to Atlanta when I was 20 years old. And at the time, it was really like I was writing. It was another person to me in this group. And I was writing, I was producing, I was mixing, I was mastering. I was doing all this stuff with the music. And also marketing it. So at the time it was whether it's organizing street teams and passing out flyers or building websites, establishing a presence on MySpace back in the days, to Facebook and all that. So it was all marketing, and other independent artists where I was started to note what we were doing and wanted me to help them out with theirs as well. Like, establishing email lists and giving people a reason to connect with an audience. And so fast forward, and what I'm doing now is really the same thing I was doing back in my early 20s. I just get paid more money now because my target market isn't a bunch of broke musicians. It's actually companies and nonprofits that have some budget to spend on this kind of stuff. So I'm very appreciative of my journey.
Yeah, it makes a big difference being paid for your work. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your book, because this is all marketing and promotions, but your book talks about finding your edge, how to unlock your talent and purpose. And this is something that not just people, but businesses struggle with as well in terms of finding their purpose or finding their specific talent, because they try and do everything. And I just have to say here, again, looking at your profile, you've got digital marketing, you've got all of these aspects there. But what is your secret sauce? Let's talk about how this book came about and how we can find our edge.
Yeah, and it's kind of an interesting path as well, especially me as, I'm a marketer and deal with branding and even like my own personal brand. I am this digital marketing consultant, but at the same time, I'm also this author, and I talk about life transformation and personal development, and those don't always go together. But for me, like, what's central with all of these is what I'm doing with digital marketing is helping a lot of nonprofits. I do for-profit as well, but that is my niche, is nonprofit. But it's helping them make a difference in the world. And with the personal development, it's making individuals really tap into their talents and their purposes to make a difference in their lives and to the world around them. So one is set up really as a business, and there's different tactics that you use. I'm doing digital marketing, so email, social media, online ads, all that jazz. But then on the personal development side, it's like, here are like the real tactics, and here's the day-to-day things that you can do to become a better person. And the reason that this book came about was really because of my own journey. So started it in the music. When I got towards my late 20s, the music industry, one, it wasn't going like I planned. I had some minor successes as an independent artist, and I'm super grateful for that. But I didn't really achieve that level of success that I aimed for. But at the same time, I learned a lot about myself, and I learned a lot about the music industry that I just didn't like. And the music piece became, I just wanted to make the art, but the business side became a job that I just hated. It's like going to the office of a job and you're just there checking in and out. I'm no longer creating for me, but I'm creating for what I think a record label wants to hear. And that is kind of the selling your soul piece. And I was like, this doesn't feel right to me anymore. So this was late 20s. My dream started when I was a teenager. So now I'm at this point in my life where I'm like, I don't really know what to do from here, because I left everything that I knew, my home, to a new city, new state, to start over. And that didn't go as I planned. So what do I do now? What are my goals? What are my dreams? What are my talents? So I had to do a lot of work on myself and start this new self-discovery journey. And that's really how my book came about. It was me doing this work on myself. It was following some models, but models for personal development didn't necessarily suit me. So I kind of picked some here, picked some there, created my own. And that's what my book is about. You know, finding your edge, which EDGE is an acronym. It means eliminate distractions, discover yourself, generate goals, and enact discipline. So it's really like a 4-step process, but it's a long process. But the book is really the end result of the transformation that I went through. And this helped me out, and it made me who I am today. So it's like, it can help other people out. And I feel like it's part of my life's work now to take what I've learned and help people tap into this.
You touched on a whole bunch of relevant points there. Avoid distractions, or remove distractions, and set goals for yourself. But that's quite tough when you're young, and as you move to a new city and a new state and things didn't go as planned. Who is this book going to be for? Is it for folks who have got a plan but think that maybe it's not going to work out, or is this for folks who are finding themselves in a situation now where they reach that fork in the road? Do I keep doing this, or do I have to go into this new direction that I wasn't necessarily planning on?
Yeah, I think it's for people who are at the cusp of change. And whether this is a new college graduate, whether it's somebody who maybe moved to a new city, or maybe it's somebody, which how I was, like I worked for this telecom company for about 14 years. And I did it to support my music. Like the money I made paid my rent, bought my recording equipment, helped me purchase CDs and things to market. So it served its purpose. But when the music died out, like I'm in this job, and it's like, I know I have a talent to do something else. And it's interesting because as I tell people about my story, even like friends and family, I'm like, I was working at this job, and it's like, I know there's something else I'm supposed to do, but I don't know what, but I know this is not it. I've told people this, and they're like, wow, like that's really where I am now. It's like they've been in their job maybe 10, 15 years. They can do it with their eyes closed. They're complacent, and it doesn't challenge them anymore. They're just getting up because they're on this rotation day in, day out. This is what I've always done. This is what I'm always going to do. But there's something inside of them that's saying, no, there's more that you can do. Like, let's explore what that is. And that is also who my book is for.
But you must have quite a disciplined personality, because staying in one company for over a decade, that takes sticking power. I've never been in a job that long.
Yeah. No, well, and
except,
nowadays,
running
who
my
can,
own business.
but with that particular company, oh, sorry, I think there was a lag there, so I may have cut you off. I'm sorry. Did you say something?
Nope.
Okay, sorry. But now I was saying with that company, I stayed there so long because, one, it was a ginormous telecom company. So I had probably 5 different jobs within this company. So even though it's under the umbrella of the brand, you can move around in this company, and it's like having a different job. But we are at a place now where it's kind of like, it's not like maybe our parents or grandparents where you start a job out of high school or college and you're there until you retire. those days have been gone. Well, that job is perfect for them. And if
Sounds like you're
listening
knocking
to this,
people. That's 50% of my audience gone. Thanks a lot.
Gone. I know. Sorry. There goes half the viewership. No, but if you're a person that, hey, needs to focus, put in the cube, work on Excel, hey, do you. And I think we need folks like you. That's just not me or my personality.
Talk to me about the day that you decided, bugger this, I'm going to start my own business, or I'm going to leave this corporate slog. Was there a moment?
Yeah. There was, and that actually came at a job after I left the corporate, and I was working for a marketing agency that catered to nonprofits, and this is really where I got into that work of doing marketing for nonprofits. Like, I found my job that I love. I'm like, this is what I'm supposed to do the rest of my life. And I don't know how much you know about marketing agencies or the listener, but basically marketing agencies, they hire up a lot of employees whenever they gain clients. And then when you lose clients, you lay off a lot of employees. So this was my first time going through that cycle. It was a job that I loved. The work was impactful. It was meaningful. I had great relationships with my clients and even internally, but we lost some clients. So they had to cut costs and cut headcount. And that I was a result of that. And the day that I lost that job, I wasn't expecting it, and it really threw me off. And I was like, I never want this to happen again. Like, I love this work, so if they're going to lay me off, I'm going to start my own consulting, so I at least have some kind of control over my life. And that was it. Like, that was the day. That was the exact day, and I think I actually registered it maybe that evening online. I registered my business, and like, let's go.
Yeah, it's so interesting hearing people's origin stories. It's either a villain origin story like mine, or a positive one like yours. And nobody operates in a vacuum. And the learnings that you're putting in this book, are there any interesting influences that you've had in your life that maybe influence your thinking process or some of the ideology behind your book?
Wow, that's actually a good question. No one has asked me. When I look at what went into my book, I look at one, just life experience, the way that I took in relationships and situations and being laid off, and I guess even like relationships with my family, with my friends, with my wife. I have a lot of support in ways that I try not to take for granted. And I think it's a way people have encouraged me and supported me. And I know how that's really lit me up. And it's like, that's the kind of encouragement that I want to give to others. Like, when I look at the work that I'm doing, I mean, there's great people that do personal development work, and I can't necessarily say I'm a student of these people. There's some big icons in the industry, and some of them are great, but I'm not like keyed in and just like a disciple of them. I think that I might even have a quote, or I might hear a message from like a Tony Robbins or a Brennan Burchard or somebody like that. I'm like, hey, that's really good. But my work is really based on my experience and what I've gone through and who I want to be and the impact I want to leave behind.
That was a great politician's answer. I love it.
Man, really? Was that a no answer? Is that like a no answer? Oh, man. No, I have to work on that.
What I've learned in my podcasting, the more you do it, the more you can come up with your sort of set response to a particular question. And I had this awful experience of it was a person who's asking very formulaic questions. And they were all things I should have practiced beforehand. So who is your mentor? And I had to think, because I hadn't done that many interviews. I was thinking, I know who it is, but I didn't have my story wrapped up very nicely. So it's quite an experience, it's very different being a guest than being a host, where I can just spring these things on you. So I'm sorry if I sprung that on you.
But here's the interesting thing, though. Like, for the work that I'm doing now, like I stay true to my answer. But when I was young, I played basketball. So like, I modeled my game after Michael Jordan. Naturally, I don't have Michael Jordan's talent, but that dude, I used to study. I would watch the game footage over and over. I'd watch the moves. I'd watch how he shot free throws. And then when I got into music, like, I'm studying like producers like Timbaland and Dr. Dre and like and Jay Dilla, like how they're laying beats, the samples they're using, how they're putting it together. Like, I'm so into it and studying every angle and the technical piece. But with the book and with the personal development work, like, I'm not keyed into somebody like that, So it is kind of like a little bit here and a little bit there. So I it's like a new phase of life where I'm trying to create something new and and my spirituality is definitely important with me. So there's certainly spirituality that's woven into some of my work as well.
You've worked in marketing for many years, and you've been promoting other people's stuff a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Now that you are an author, you've got to self-promote. You've got to promote the living daylights out of yourself. How? And I'm in the same boat. I've been marketing for over 20 years. But when it comes to marketing yourself, you realize, oh wait, all these things I've been telling other people to do all these years. I've got to apply it to myself. How have you found that process? And you're on this podcast because it's for promoting your book and getting your message out there. How have you found this process of selling yourself?
I mean, it's definitely harder. Well, it's hard. Let's just say hard, not harder. It's definitely hard because when you have clients that you're marketing for, you can see what they can't see. They can tell you their story, and you can take that story and you can find all the beauty in it. You can find the gaps in it. But I think when it is yourself, it is hard, for many reasons. One, it's like you think everything you do is good, or you think everything you do is bad, depending on, what kind of personality you have. So it's kind of like someone who's growing. So if you have kids and at the beginning of the school year, they're standing in the door jamb and you put a little mark on the door and they're like, hey, they're 5'3" at the beginning of the year. And then at the end of the school year, they've grown and they're 5'8". They've grown 2 inches, and you don't really notice that they grow because you're with them every single day, and it just happens slow, but over time, they're taller. And I think when we're trying to market ourselves, you don't really see who you are. Like, things about you that you're good at, but you also don't want to be necessarily arrogant and be like, hey, I'm really good at this, because there's this humility, I think, that can also limit how you really view yourself. So it's like, I know I'm good at marketing, but I also don't want to come off in a way that is arrogant. And I want to come off in a way where I can still learn, because I can. Like, I'm still learning every day. But I will say, like, I researched some book marketing, and there was some good book marketing out there, but based on my other marketing, I'm like, that's not really what I want to do for me, for my personality. But I'm actually, like, it's an ongoing thing. You put a book out, it's not like you put an album out. If you put an album out, you have like a small window to really market that. With a book, I mean, man, you can market that until the rest of your life, because there's bestsellers now that came out maybe 10, 20 years ago. So I have time. I mean, being on your podcast, hey, this is a great way to market the book. But more importantly, like, I don't want to market a physical book with pages. Like, I want to market like life transformation. So, like, let's talk about where you are now and where you want to be, and how my book can be that little hinge that can get you there.
So one of the things I have in marketing is the frustration that I could be doing better and I could be doing more, but time becomes a huge issue. And I'm sure you'd love to do 5,000 more ads, 70 more podcasts than that. But it's just about being able to focus and remove distractions. So what are your goals, if we look at your edge, finding your edge, what have you set as edge goals for yourself, for this book, and perhaps for the foreseeable future for your business? And you've touched on a couple of them already.
Yeah. Well, you also said something important. Like, there's a couple of things I want to talk about. When you're marketing yourself, as you may do, and I do, it's like we also don't necessarily have the budgets that our clients would have. So we have to do a whole lot more with a whole lot less. But we are the marketers, so we can squeeze a lot more out of a smaller budget. When I look at my goals for my book, my goal was never to be like, I'm going to make a living off of the sales of this book. I really want to use this book, and it's been helpful so far, to open doors. And this book gives me some authority in the marketplace if I'm trying to speak or do a workshop or do a keynote or something like that. Similar to my previous book, which was a book about digital fundraising. Like, I've made more money just off of the consulting that book got me than I have off of the actual book sales. And I'm okay with that. Like, I want people to read the book because there's certainly change in that book, but I really want to use this book as a tool to open up even bigger doors to larger audiences. So that is the goal for the book. And really that's the goal for my career. I have my marketing company now, which I'm going to continue to run, and the book and the personal development work is really, it's not a pivot away from what I'm doing. It's just an additional layer of services that I can offer as an individual versus a company.
So books are basically the podcast of books. It's a
Yeah.
That's a really terrible line, but it's a
No, I know what you mean. No, I know what you mean. I know.
It's
I
a good
understand what you're saying. Yeah.
it's a market, a good.
I'm with
a good
you.
marketing
I'm with
tool.
you.
Yeah, I like it. Okay, now we've done some of the technical stuff here. I want to go into one of these comments that I read here, is that you were booed off the stage at the Apollo.
Yeah.
Let's go through
Yeah.
some of these catastrophic moments.
But was it catastrophic? Maybe, no, this was towards the latter part of when I was doing music, and we auditioned for Showtime at the Apollo. They came actually to Atlanta, and we performed here in Atlanta, and they wanted to bring us to New York as well. The producer called us and was like, hey, we loved you guys. We want you to, if you can come to New York. I mean, they didn't pay for anything. They didn't fly us up or anything, but it's like, if you can come to New York, we're going to put you on Showtime at the Apollo. So I was like, yeah, this is a tremendous opportunity. Like, the Apollo Theater, Harlem, New York, like, legends have been on this stage, and legends have been booed off of this stage. Like, if you Google who, I don't know, celebrities who were booed off of the Apollo, you'll be really surprised at some of those. So we're like, yeah, let's do it. So we went up there, and it was a day where they taped 3 shows at once, and I think we were the last show of the day. And we lasted maybe 45 seconds on stage. And then the little siren came on. And the little Sandman came down, started tap dancing. And yeah, it was crazy, man. It felt like we were just holding on for dear life. Like, from the moment we hit the stage, before the music even cut on, people just started booing. It's a tough audience in Harlem. But, I wouldn't take it back for anything. I would have liked better results, naturally. But at the end of the day, it's like, we actually got to perform at the Apollo on national TV. And there's footage of this out there. It exists. But I'm like, and people they can laugh, they can talk about me, but I'm like, but I did this. So I'm okay with it, I'm in good company. Like, Lauryn Hill was booed off the stage at the Apollo. I'm in the same company as Lauryn Hill. It's all good. It's okay.
Yeah, you can laugh at it now. I'm sure you felt like absolute shit at the time.
Yeah, I mean, we were definitely disappointed. They didn't even give us a chance, And so we were certainly disappointed. But in hindsight, it's like, we did everything we could do. And there's nothing I would have done different. Even based on that performance, looking back, I'm like, I wouldn't have changed anything about it. So it is what it is, or was what it was.
I wish I got booed off the stage, because I had an experience with, the last time I played classical guitar in public was at a little live gig place. The sound was, I'd only performed without microphones and, mic'd up guitars before, and they put on a microphone on the guitar, and the mic setup was wrong. There was very few people in the audience, so every single ding, scratch,
Oh, gosh.
and it was the worst experience. I was dying inside the whole way, because it sounded abominable. And I knew it sounded abominable. All my friends and everyone that I invited was there. They knew it was abominable.
Oh, gosh.
And I wish they'd have pulled me off that stage. And then to tap it off, the person who was judging the competition said, oh, yes, I love when people bring in la, la, la into the songs. And only about a year later did I realize he was being rude to me. So,
Wow. I'm sorry you had that experience. You're like, I don't sound this bad. I'm actually really good. Like, these darn mics.
It's tough. Being a performer there are different breeds. So, Jeremy, you've had a top 100 pop hit and tons of experience in marketing. Where can I send folks to learn a little bit more about you? And where can they follow you?
Yeah, follow me on Instagram. Jeremy.Haselwood is my handle there. Reach out to me on LinkedIn if you are curious about marketing or need some help with your business or brand, or would like me to come speak or do a workshop. You can also come to my website, jeremyhaselwood.com, and there's many ways to connect with me there.
I'll stick all of those links in the description as well. Well, Jeremy, this was fun. I'm excited about your book, and I'm sure folks who are going through a bit of change in their life would find some solace in your book, and hopefully some good insights to help them navigate things that are guaranteed to happen in the majority of people's lives. So appreciate you writing the book, and appreciate you.
Cool. Yeah. Thank you for your time and your platform, Nicholas.